Now, something the Nazi Party and the Italian fascists have in common is a very conservative view of women. There was actually a Nazi slogan that told women, see, the sooner you grab pots, pans, and brooms, the sooner you will find a groom. Women were viewed as mothers above all else. You would even be given a medal if you gave birth to a certain number of pure Aryan children. So in a weird way, from a Nazi perspective, women were really important, but they're only important because they give birth to the next generation of Aryans. So a super conservative view of women. Hitler himself said his ideal woman was cute, cuddly, and stupid. So you kind of see where the Nazi mentality was. And all this goes back to race. We need more pure Aryans so we can conquer. And so women were encouraged to give birth, even out of wedlock. There was even a program called a Lebensborn program where young, pure so-called Aryan women would be matched with Aryan men, and they would breed, and then the children would be taken by the Nazi government and raised by the government to be loyal Nazis. So women were viewed as mothers and homemakers, and that is all. It didn't take long for Hitler and the Nazis to begin to put into place their anti-Semitic policies, their policies against the Jews of Germany. Now, most Jews in Germany consider themselves German. I mean, yes, they were ethnic Jews, but their nationality in their minds were Germans. You know, you had Jewish people that fought in World War I for Germany, fought very bravely. They were in every part of society. And that's one reason why, at first, some of the Jewish population didn't really take all the anti Semitism seriously. There was the idea, well, it can't happen here, but it did. Um, the Nazis began to use propaganda. This is the Nazi newspaper Der Stürmer, and in the picture you see a Jewish monster like eating the German people. Notice on the right side of the screen, on his shoulder is a symbol of communism. On the left is a symbol of Freemasonry, which, according to the Nazis, were all Jewish conspiracies. There was a traveling exhibit in a movie called The Wandering Jew, which so-called proved that the Jews were destructive to every nation that they went to, and they had to be removed. There is even anti-Semitic children's books that were published and read to children to get Germany used to the idea that the Jews have to go. And it starts with the Nuremberg laws. They don't start with the Holocaust. You don't start with the gas chambers. You got to ease Germany into it. Start with the Nuremberg laws. The Nuremberg laws strip Jews of their citizenship. And if you're not a citizen, you don't have any protection. And Jews had to wear the yellow stars of David. No longer could a Jew and a non-Jew marry. They could not hold political office. They could not have government jobs. Eventually, they're going to be removed from school as well. And oftentimes, students ask, well, how did they know who the Jews were? Well, remember, before the Nazis took over, there was no need to hide the fact that you were a Jew, right? You were a German, right? You didn't think you had to hide it. Right? And then eventually the Jews get sent to live only in specific areas of cities called the ghettos, and these ghettos would be walled off, and Jews would not be allowed to leave. And then you have Kristallnacht, the night of the shattered glass. What happened was a Jew in France shot and killed the German ambassador. And the Nazis used this as an excuse to launch a wave of organized violence against Jewish people throughout Germany. Now, the Nazis always claim that this was a spontaneous outpouring of emotion. But we now know, because we have the documents, that the Nazi government told the police and the firefighters throughout Germany not to do anything to stop the violence. As long as only Jewish businesses and Jewish homes, Jewish synagogues were attacked, you just let it go. That's why it's called Night of the Shattered Glass. As you can see in this picture, the storefront, the glass windows of this Jewish business had been shattered. Right? Night of the Shattered Glass, Kristallnacht. And Jewish synagogues were burned. Jews were beaten and attacked, and this was essentially endorsed by the government. So you started with with words, right? Like in Mein Kampf, that propaganda. Then the words become laws, and Nuremberg laws, and then you go to violence. See, it's a gradual steps. That's why you always have to be aware anytime one group is singled out and blamed by the government. That it's those people right there. It's all their fault. We need to have laws to protect us from their kind. That should always be a red flag. You always ask yourself, why is the government doing that? Is that the complete truth?